Hi, everyone. It's Latanya Carmouche, your personal development life coach. I am here to empower you and provide you with helpful tips that will help you rewrite the script of your life. Today, we are going to reflect on our past. We're going to dig deep and reflect on our past so that we can continue on our journey of self-discovery and uncovering your passions and your purpose. Do you ever feel like you're just living, right? You're just existing in life. You're on autopilot and you just wake up to live. There's no life to it. You just simply live. Don't worry, you're not alone. We have all been there. So many people desire to learn what is their purpose, and they want to live a life that's aligned with their their God-given talents and gifts, but they don't know where to start. I'm here to tell you that there's good news. And the good news is, with some intentional self-reflection, you can embark upon a journey that allows you to unleash your inner voice and live the life that you want to live, a more fulfilled life. So how do we do this? Well, again, we're going to kickstart by digging deeply into our past. We're going to reflect on moments and influences that has helped shape you. And then I'm going to give you some tips that will help you do just that. So grab your pen, grab your journal, and let's get started. First, you want to identify pivotal experiences in your life. So think back. Think of some experiences that you had experienced that has totally shaped who you are, whether it be you falling in love, whether it be you having a child, whether it be you graduating, changing careers, whatever pivotal experience you have, believe me, it in some way, shape, or form shaped who you are today. So write those down and then think about, how did these experiences impact you? What did they teach you about yourself? Perhaps you had a health crisis, something that caused you to have a renewed perspective on life. Did you fail at something? And did that failure teach you exactly how resilient you truly are? Think about it. You failed at something, but here you are today, still striving to fulfill your life's purpose and to be the best version of you. You are resilient. So write that down. What failure did you go through? And you're still here to tell about it. Contemplate how these formative experiences revealed pieces of who you truly are. Next, you want to evaluate influential relationships. Reflect on key people who have come in and out of your life. Maybe it's your parents or your partner or your friends or mentors. How have these people shaped your personality and perspectives? Maybe you had a teacher who spoke life into you or didn't speak life into you. How did this teacher fuel in you an early passion to either, prove to yourself that they were wrong or prove to yourself that they were correct? Whatever it is they spoke to you, how did this fuel your passion to be who you are today? Did you maybe have a role model that you looked up to? Was there anyone with you growing up that you would just look at and model yourself essentially after? I know growing up, I had an aunt who I thought was the coolest. She was a younger aunt, and I just thought she was so cool. And so I thought, you know what, when I grow up, I want to be like her. Well, turns out I didn't want to be like her in the end, but there are some things that I were able to pull from her, being the cool aunt, having fun, laughing all the time. These sort of things I was able to pull from her and be intentional on, this is who I want to be. So was there anyone, a teacher, an older sibling, a neighbor, anyone that you modeled yourself, or they modeled the essential values that you wish to encompass? Consider reaching out to people. If you can't remember, reach out to some people who are around, who knows you, who can maybe add some insight to the forces that has helped shape you. So just ask around people who watched you grow up, people who watched you matured, get their opinion. Maybe, you never know. They can add some insight to things and show you things that you perhaps just overlooked or forgot about. Next, you want to connect with your earlier self. Go back to a time when life was just carefree, right? Or not as adult as it is right now. Go back and visualize your younger self at different stages in life. What were your little hopes and dreams, right? As a little kid, what did you hope and dream to become? No matter how far-fetched it is, write it down because it matters. It matters. It helps shape who you are today. So go back to as far as back as you can remember. What were your hopes and dreams? And then work your way gradually up. Were there some passions and creative things that you would do that you maybe lost touch with because of being an adult, right? Over the years, we take less time to imagine and fantasize and pretend because we have to be adults and we have to live real life. But who we were, our younger selves, those dreams, those hopes, they were there for a reason. And so let's go back and revisit. Who did you want to be? How did you, foresee your life? What did you want your life to look like today? When you were a child, when you were a teenager, when you were in your young 20s, when, young adult, what did you see for yourself? What were your talents? What were some of the things that made you happy? Go and pull out some old photos. Look at, to help jog your memory, pull out some old photos, pull out some old keepsakes, pull out old, if you're like me, I've always had a journal. So pull out some old writings to reconnect with the forgotten parts of yourself that may hold the key that fulfills who you really are, right? It's the key. It will unleash who you truly are. Who did you want to be? It was there for a purpose. We were created for a purpose and a reason. And it probably was revealed to you when you were younger. We just covered it up because we just got so busy with life. Take time to reflect. Go back and reflect and write it down. Next, you want to identify core values. Reoccurring themes in your history gives you a clue. It tells you what your core values are. What principles, what qualities guided you and helped shape your goals? What fueled your goals? What made your goal your goal? Why is that your goal? Why did you make the decisions that you've made in the past? Go back and revisit those things, right? Common values include integrity, ambition, adventure, loyalty, spirituality, justice, creativity, leadership, community. Like so many things are geared up in your values, right? Write them all down and then look at your top 5, right? We're going to look at your top 5 and that will provide you clues with who you are, right? So, for me, I can look at loyalty. I'm one that will stay in there. I always say, if you want to put a dog in a fight, put me, because I'm going to stay. Where did that stem from? What shaped that? Where does that come from? I can say it come from a lot of things. I can say it come from my parents, being loyal to one another, staying married for so long. I could say that that's just how it's created to be, right? I'm just a loyal person. But write it down, right? Because I'm a loyal person. That's what I look for in people. And, it's my goal to surround myself with loyal people, right? So write down your 5 top core values. Next, you want to keep an ongoing journal. Now, you guys know me. I'm big on journals. It's not only therapeutic to write, but it also helps you create your own history, if you will, right? You go back and you pull out a journal. My daughter found a diary of mine that I kept when I was in the 6th grade through the 8th grade. And she's reading it and it's hilarious now. It is so funny to think how I thought, or to read how I thought during that time. And as I was reading the entries, I literally felt myself transport back to junior high school. And I felt the pride that I was feeling at that time. I felt the joy. I felt, like I was cool and I was just using slang that I really don't use. I was just writing it because it was the slang to use at the time. And it's like, you read it now and it's so funny and it's just, you kind of cringe like, I thought I was so cool, but that's who I was. And it helps me see what helped shape me, right? The experiences that I was going through, the things that I wrote, how I was dressing, how I felt when I dressed, and I was like so cool. And I went from, the country stage to a valley stage, and just all of these things helped shape who I am today. Is so important. So just imagine you start journaling today and you read it 20 years from now, and you read it to your grandchildren, you're going to be like, oh, is that what I was really thinking at that time? Trust me, it helps show you how you become who you are today. So keep an ongoing journal, record your self-reflections, your realizations, the things that you come to terms with, the things that you realize, and it will help you have a more be more aware of your self-awareness over time, right? You get to see yourself outside of yourself, if you will. So rather than just living day to day, no life, you can go back and reflect on, what was I thinking that day? How did I feel that day? And it allows you to essentially see yourself outside of yourself, right? You will be on the outside looking in. Trust me, it works, right? You're going to date each entry. You're going to review it regularly, right? Just write a journal for the month. At the end of the month, go over that month and see what has changed. What revelations have you had? What discoveries have you had? It'll give you a different introspection of life, especially on yourself. New insights. Each time you read, go back and read it. New insights will continue to bubble up as you dig deeper in through self-inquiry. Write down, how did you feel? What were you thinking? What happened? And then by taking a comprehensive look into the significant experiences that has shaped who you are and the important people who influenced you, reflecting on what brought you joy and what brought you meaningfulness in your life, right? As you go back and you get clear on your core values and you keep journaling, you're going to lay the groundwork for gaining a richer understanding of your authentic self in the present. This self-knowledge provides clarity. It provides the fuel you need to move forward in your journey to pursue your dreams that capture your true passions and your purpose. The past holds so many treasures. It is so important, regardless of what your past is, there are treasures in your past. There are gems of self-discovery to be uncovered through mindful reflection. We're going to review it all, right? You're going to mine the jewels, right? You ever go out digging for jewels or gold? You're going to mine the jewels, right? So that, shine it and bring it to life so that you can illuminate a fulfilling path moving forward. How did I get to where I am today? What shaped me? Why am I like this? How am I like this? Trust me, when you do the journaling, when you dig deep, right? And remember, I always throw this in there because so many of us, when we go back to our past, our mind automatically goes back to negative things in our past. Okay, so if there's negative things in your past, revisit it, but there's no judgment. We are not there to judge ourselves, our decisions. We're not there to judge ourselves at all. We're just revisiting it so that we can learn from it. That's it. We're just going to learn from it. There's no need to sit and dwell on it because it's in the past. You can't change it. It cannot be undone. It is, it happened, right? It's a fact. That's a part of your history. It's in the past. What can I learn from that? How did that shape me into who I am today? Why am I like this? What did I like? Now, be intentional. I said our mind goes to the negative. We have to be intentional about going to some good times. There have been days that you smiled. There were things that you use as an escape to make you happy. Mine was music. I always had a radio. As long as I had music and a journal or a book to read, I was just fine. Those are the things that made me happy. And I could say in my adult life, that's what I still geared towards. I went into PR and I had musicians for clients. I've written books. I love reading. These are the things that give me escape. These are the things who shaped who I am, amongst other things, right? But Think back on the good things. What made you feel good? Think all the way back as far as you can. What made you feel good? What did you like doing? What brought you joy? What made you laugh? And so what? Don't, no judgment. I can't emphasize that enough. If Tom and Jerry made you laugh and that was your outlet, and you're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old right now, if that's what brought you joy, that's what brought you joy. Write it down. I still watch cartoons. I don't know about Tom and Jerry, but I still watch cartoons. Like, write it down. There's absolutely no judgment. When you know yourself deeply, you can live your life boldly. It's not too late to live your life boldly. For more information about this topic and to see some of our other blogs, be sure to visit us at ltce.info. Be sure to comment, like, tell a friend, and I'll see you next time as we move on to step 2. I'm rooting for you.